यथा दृष्टि तथा सृष्टि. This is a very famous statement in Sanskrit. As our vision, so is the world. The world appears to us as we have the vision about it. So we not only have the particular view about the world, but we also have a certain view about our own self and also about God. So we have a self view, world view, God view, and based on this we experience our this world. The joys and sorrows, various experiences come to us based on our view, this threefold view which we have. And we are born with a particular view. Then as we are raised in a family, in a society, in a particular faith, religion, we keep on modifying our view. And as our view gets modified, our experiences start changing. They get transformed. But we generally go from one negative or one limited view to another limited view. Our view about ourselves and the world and God may not be totally right or complete. So Bhagavad Gita, when we study, it helps us to make our view about ourselves, about world, about God proper, more real and holistic. So in the beginning we studied 6 chapters which talks about Arjuna's delusion in the battlefield, and he was given a particular self-view. Arjuna thought himself to be a limited being, born in a particular family, having a particular duty to perform. But Bhagwan tried to transform this limited self-view and told him that you are that supreme self, that Atma, which is neither born nor does it die. That is what you really are. And taking Arjuna as a nimitta, this knowledge is given to all of us. That we are not a limited being, we are that supreme consciousness which is neither born nor does it die. The body is made up of matter, the mind is made up of matter, but the Atma is beyond all matter. Our thinking also happens in matter only. The mind is matter, so all thinking happens in the world of matter, but Atma is beyond all matter. It is pure consciousness, pure being. So that was revealed to Arjuna, and in order to help him to comprehend it, he was also taught the path of karma yoga, because at present we are identified with a body, we are identified with this limited concept of self, and we also have this sense of doership. So as long as we have this sense of doership, and as long as we have this identification, we have to keep performing actions. So action remaining same, our duties, we have to keep changing our attitude in our action. Make it more and more selfless, make the actions more and more dedicated to the higher self, that helps us to make our mind more and more pure. And finally, we are able to meditate and come to realize our own self, that I am that pure consciousness. But simultaneously, we should also improve our world view and God view. We should see this world in front of us, not just made up of matter, but it should be looked upon as divine. In order to give us a positive and holistic world view and a proper God view, Bhagavan begins this teaching from 7th chapter onwards. So in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan says that I myself am appearing like this world, which is made up of matter as well as life, the apara, and the para prakriti is my prakriti alone. I alone am there, appearing like this whole world. So when I look at this world, I should look at it as an expression of the divinity. The world as is seen itself is changing and is not the supreme, but it is an expression of that supreme. It is the supreme alone appears like this world. So that thing should be kept in mind all the time. Bhagavan taught this in the 7th chapter, and he said, you develop that supreme love for me who is appearing in this world. Because if we just look at the world, look at the names and forms, we get attached to it, we get carried away by it, and we fail to recognize that divinity. That itself, Bhagavan called it as his Maya. Ki my Maya is very delusory. Ki Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Mayam etam tarantite. That my Maya is divine, but it is made up of these 3 gunas, and it is very difficult to transcend. Because of this Maya only the various names and forms are seen. Because of Maya only everything seems to be limited, everything seems to be changing. Because of Maya only that divinity as though remains hidden. Because of Maya, that which is supreme bliss is experienced as full of sorrow and pain and fear. So one has to transcend this Maya. In order to transcend this Maya, Bhagavan says the only path is to surrender to me, surrender to that divinity. With full faith, with full trust, with full love, one has to surrender to that supreme divinity. And one who does it transcends this Maya and comes to recognize the self within me is the self in all. I am that supreme self. Bhagavan also revealed to Arjuna that one who doesn't know me, they then go through various paths, sometimes go to Swarga and come back, or other worlds. But one who recognize me, they become free from this samsara. In the 9th chapter, Bhagavan revealed this path of bhakti in more elaborate detail. He says this following this path is very simple. Ki patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti paratam ashnami prayatatmavihi. That one who offers even a flower or a leaf or water, one who offers to me, ultimately we have to offer ourselves. When we offer ourselves, our karma, our yajna, our tapas, whatever we are doing, when we offer it to that supreme reality, when we have that attitude that everything is meant for the divine, when this attitude of offering is developed within us, our ego, our that separate identity get dissolved, and one comes to realize the truth. It's like going to sleep. When we offer ourselves to sleep, then one sleeps. When we have too much worries, when we have some work to be done, when we are disturbed, when we are angry, when we are sad, then it becomes difficult to offer ourselves to sleep. But suppose you are sitting comfortably in pravachan, no worries, no sadness, no fear. You have told the neighbor also, don't disturb me. So everything is so nice and good. Then you just surrender. And once you surrender, you go into a different level of consciousness. Similarly, when we surrender to that divine by giving up our ego, by giving up our selfishness, offering whatever we do and whatever we get to that supreme, then ultimately we attain that oneness, we attain the identity, we experience ourselves as the divine. Therefore, Bhagavan in the 9th chapter, he concludes that manmana bhava mad bhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaevam atmanam matparayanaha. That you become, let your mind be in me. Place your mind in me. Develop devotion for me. Worship me. Do namaskar to me. You will attain me. Mam eva eshyasi. Thus endowed, you will attain me. Means you will experience your identification with me. I, the Supreme Self, I who pervade the entire world, in whom everything exists, who exists in everything, you will experience your identification with me. We are now experiencing the world as a limited being from one point, but one can then experience oneself as complete, as that infinity, as infinite. So thus Bhagavan guided Arjuna. Now what is more to be said? See, this since the nature of that God or the Supreme Reality is very difficult to comprehend, and the only way when something is difficult to comprehend is to listen to it again. To keep listening, keep thinking about it, then slowly and steadily we come to understand it. Therefore, Bhagavan begins this 10th chapter by telling Arjuna that I will again reveal my nature to you in a different way. I will tell you about myself. I have heard a lot about yourself. Now you listen. So first 6th chapter is about Arjuna. But 7th to 12th chapter, Bhagavan talks about himself. He says, you listen to me. You understand me. Me means not as an egoistic person. When Bhagavan says I, that I includes everyone and everything. In 9th chapter, Bhagavan said that Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina, that I pervade the entire world, entire cosmos in my unmanifest form. I am not visible, but I am everywhere. I am not manifest, but I am everywhere. Hari Vyapak Sarvatra Samana is everywhere, but cannot be seen through your senses, through the mind, but I am there, everywhere. And everything exists in me. So it's very subtle nature of the Lord. In order to comprehend it, we have to hear about it again and again. So Bhagavan begins this chapter by revealing his nature. Thereafter, there is a question which is asked by Arjuna. Because everything is an expression of divinity. So, and in order to comprehend that divinity, we have to have the vision, we have to have the eyes to look. If we are able to develop that faith, that trust, that wisdom, that total surrender, and when we look, we will be able to experience the divinity everywhere. So Arjuna wants to know, though everything is yourself, your expression, but what are those main vibhutis, main glories of yours, which I can worship and come to recognize you? What are those various glories, vibhutis, which I can worship in order to comprehend and experience you? It's like a big city is there. Everything in the city is part of that city. But still there are certain things which are special of that city. If we mention that, then it belongs to that city only. Like apne Delhi hai. What is special of Delhi? At least one thing you should say, huh? Chalo, Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar is there. And nowadays we have that Akshardham, beautiful temple. People from all over the world, they come, they visit, they appreciate the beauty of our country depicted there in this temple. Similarly, the entire cosmos is Bhagavan's expression. But there are certain things in this world which are extra special, which has got extra glow, extra beauty. And worshipping or contemplating on those features, we will be able to understand the beauty of God. We will be able to identify with God. So Arjuna asked that question to Bhagavan, that please tell me about your vibhutis. And then the entire chapter, rest of the chapter, Bhagavan enumerates his vibhutis. So that is all in this chapter. So first Bhagavan reveals his nature, then Arjuna's question about Bhagavan's vibhutis, and then lots of vibhutis are mentioned. And each one of them are very beautiful. We will study them in detail. So let us begin this 10th chapter. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ दशमोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः Shri Bhagavan Vacha. See, when many chapters they begin with Arjuna's question, but some chapters they directly begin with Bhagavan's words only. So there is so much of compassion and love in Bhagavan that he wants to reveal his nature, reveal this great knowledge to Arjuna, even though he did not ask here. He just wants to share. So that shows his great love for all of us. So Shri Bhagavan Vacha, he says, Hey Mahabaho, hey Arjuna, you have great these bahus, you have great strength, physical strength, emotional strength, but you should also have some intellectual strength to comprehend my nature. You should expand yourself in order to understand me. You expand your vision in order to comprehend me. Just like if you want to embrace someone, we should have a long span of our arms. Then only we can embrace. Big fat person is difficult to embrace. But Bhagavan is all pervading. In order to embrace him, we should have a long arms, but not physical arms, but intellectual arms, so that we can embrace him completely. So, Bhuya eva Mahabaho, hey Mahabaho, Shruno, listen to me. Again, Bhuya eva, again you listen to me. Again you listen to those supreme words, Paramam Vachaha, those words which are talking about that supreme, about me, about my supreme nature. You listen to it again. Because listening alone is the path, is the way to comprehend me. That is the special thing of a human being. Human being can experience this and comprehend this truth through listening, Shravanam. Shravanam plays a very important role. And we as human beings have developed this very complex language to reveal not only the worldly things, we can also reveal through language our ideas, our emotions, but through this language we can reveal the nature of that supreme truth. But for that, we should have the ability to listen. It is found, actually psychologists and all says that it's very difficult to listen. People generally don't listen. Lot of things, obstacles come in the way of listening. Our fear comes, our prejudice, various types of our own notions come, our ego, pride, our lack of trust, all of them, our own thing that I know. So many obstacles are there which prevents us from listening. We listen to what I feel comfortable with. We listen to what is more in tune with our ego. Certain important things we don't listen. Therefore, if you, I don't know whether you have experience, but if you listen to the pravachan again, any pravachan, if you listen to cassette or these videos, then you will notice that, oh, this point I have not heard. I was there for this pravachan. But I don't know why I did not hear this. This just escaped. Never heard. Because we don't listen completely. Therefore, we miss out important things. So here Bhagavan, out of his great compassion, is telling Arjuna that I will tell you again. Shrunu me paramam vachaha my supreme words, bhuya eva shrunu, you listen to it again. Listen to it afresh. Listen to it as though you have not heard it before. So listen with full attention. Because at times we listen to things and imagine that this is what it is being said, so we don't listen completely. So listen with full attention, as though you are listening for the first time. Like those who travel by flight and all, they keep, in the beginning, they keep telling, first timers, they keep listening, हाँ कहाँ से सीट बेल्ट कैसे पहननी है, and then oxygen कैसे निकलता है, and then what we have to do. They listen very carefully. But after some time, they stop listening. That person keeps on blabbering, and you keep on doing your own thing. You don't listen. They mention कहाँ exit है वगैरह, you don't know where they are. So similarly, after some time we may stop listening, but we should listen. So bhuya eva mahabaho shrunu me paramam vachaha. And why I am repeating it, Bhagavan says, because you are listening with so much of joy. Yatteham priyamanaya. You are listening with joy. You are listening without finding faults. You are listening with full faith and trust in my words. You are listening with full attention. And that was the beauty of Arjuna. He was listening with so much of love and trust and attention. Priyamanaya. You have great joy in listening to my words. You derive great pleasure in listening to my words. Therefore, I am telling you again. Sometimes people tell something and we get so tired, we don't want to listen to it again. It might show on our face also. फिर से सुनाओ क्या स्टोरी मेरी. Please. One person was chasing another person and he was running away. So somebody asked him that, why are you chasing him? He said, we had this deal that I will listen to his story, and after listening to his story, I will tell my story and he should listen. Now I heard his story and he is not willing to listen to my story. He is running away. So I am trying to chase and catch hold of him. But Arjuna was listening with so much of, and that is also you find this beauty in Bhagavad. Srimad Bhagavad Puran, Parikshit was sitting and listening to Shukdev ji. Shukdev ji was narrating the stories of the various avatars of Bhagwan and the stories of the various devotees of the Lord. And Parikshit was listening and he was asking questions in between. And he wanted to know more and more details. Shukdev ji will briefly tell the story, but Parikshit will say, please tell me in more detail. What was the occasion this thing occurred? How it happened? Please tell me in more detail. So then the speaker also feels like speaking. So here Bhagwan is saying that you are listening with so much joy, therefore I am repeating it. Yatteham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. But this, what I am saying is not just for entertainment, but it is for your welfare. Desiring your welfare, thinking about your welfare, I am telling this because knowing my supreme nature, knowing what I am revealing, I will reveal to you, will help you, will release you from bondage. As we understand, our vision get transformed and we keep on rising in our on our spiritual ladder, you can say. So our progress happens when our vision gets transformed. And ultimately when we have that vision of oneness, we have reached the ultimate. We have reached our destination. And this happens by listening. We are all very much attached to our own vision. It takes a great effort to change our vision. It is found that if we have a particular way of thinking and feeling and our attitude and all, it requires tremendous effort from our side and from outside also to transform us. It's very difficult. People are born with certain strong notions. They will die with that notion unless powerful effort is put forth. Otherwise, we hold on to our notions. And very strange thing happens also, even when things are told contrary to our notion, totally against it, revealing its total irrationality also, we will say that, oh, yes, this proves my notion only. We will still remain firm in our conviction. We will say, yes, you have made my faith in what I was thinking more strong. But I was talking totally different. I wanted to break this false notion. But I come back thinking that, yes, I am alone right. So it takes a lot of courage, lot of effort to drop our false notion and accept what is true. So for that, we have to listen with faith. So yatteham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. For your welfare, I will tell you. Further, then Bhagavan tells, he says, Name vidussuraganaha Prabhavam namaharshayah Ahamadirhi devanam Maharshinancha sarvashah Name vidussuraganaha Prabhavam namaharshayah Name viduhu. I am telling you because this is not known by even the great wise people. He says, Name vidu suraganaha. Even the devatas do not know me completely. Devatas are also limited jivas. They also do not comprehend my supreme nature completely. They might have better standard of living, but still they do not comprehend me completely. Even devatas don't know me. Suraganaha na maharshayaha, nor great rishi munis also do not know me completely. They also fail to comprehend me. What they don't know? Prabhavam, my utpatti, my origin and my essence, they do not know. Why they do not know? What is the problem? He says, Aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah, because I am the origin of even the devatas and the maharshis also. I am the cause, I am the origin of these devatas and maharshis also. They do not know me because I am their very cause. See, we can know certain things which are in front of us. We can know things which are limited. But to know that which is our own cause is very difficult, it cannot be known. We cannot know our own origin, our own cause. The intellect cannot understand from where, what is its origin, what is its source. This devatas, And these Maharshis, subjectively, these Devatas are also our senses. Our senses are also called Devatas. Devata means that which illumines. So, subjectively, our senses are Devatas. And at the cosmic level, there are those Devatas who are in the Swarga and other lokas. So, our senses, eyes, ears, nose, and all, they also reveal the world to us. They illumine the world to us. The ears illumine the sounds. The eyes illumine the form and the color. Therefore, they are also called Devatas. But these senses fail to comprehend God, because with our eyes we cannot see God, because God is the one who is sitting behind the eyes. He is not in front of the eyes. God is one, or the Supreme Reality is one, because of which we are able to see. It is that because of which the eyes can see. It is that because of which the ears can hear. So, with the eyes we cannot comprehend the Supreme Truth. With our senses we cannot see the truth. Maharshayah, these great rishis, they are also like seers. And subjectively, it represents the ability to know in our mind, our intellect, the ability to know. The mind and intellect has got the ability to know a lot about this world, but even the mind and intellect fail to recognize the very source of this mind and intellect. It fails to recognize its own source, its own origin. Like if you open your eyes, you can see everything in this world except the eyes themselves. You can see the reflection of the eyes. Though the eyes have the power to see, the eyes cannot see itself. Similarly, though the mind, the intellect have got the power to know, it cannot know its own source. Therefore, Bhagavan says, even the great Devatas and the great Rishis, they do not know me, because I am their origin. Aham adirhi devanam. I am the origin, source of all these Devatas and all these Rishis. Subjectively, I am the source of your mind, the intellect, and the senses also. If we want to know the self, we have to transcend our mind. We have to transcend our senses. We have to drop the mind, the intellect, and go within. To see and to comprehend God, we have to go at a different plane altogether. It's like, again, to give the example of sleep. You cannot see your sleep with your senses. You cannot know your sleep with your mind, your intellect. But when the senses stop functioning, when the mind stops functioning, when we withdraw our attention from the world, we go into the state of sleep. Sleep can be experienced, but it cannot be seen with our senses. You can try it out. One person wanted to know how he looked when he slept. Nowadays we can record and all, but actually wanted to know. Even how you look when your eyes are closed. You try to look into the mirror. If you want to see, your eyes will be open. If you close your eyes, you will not be able to see. But that doesn't mean that you cannot experience. Your eyes are closed, you can experience your eyes closed. But you cannot see your eyes closed. Similarly, we can experience God when we transcend our mind, our senses. But with the senses, with the mind, we are unable to comprehend God. Therefore, Bhagavan says, I will tell you, because it becomes difficult for us to transcend, difficult us to drop this mind, intellect, and experience that truth as it is. Therefore, Bhagavan is telling us again that I am the very origin of these devatas and I am the origin of these rishis also in all ways. So aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Further he says, Yo mam ajamanadincha vetti lokamaheshwaram asammudhas samarteshu sarva papai pramuchyate Yo mam ajamanadincha vetti lokamaheshwaram. But when we listen to Bhagwan and when we contemplate on what we have heard and when we meditate on what we have understood, we will be able to transcend our senses, we will be able to transcend our mind. And when we transcend our senses and the mind, we will be able to comprehend the truth as it is. Just as when we dream, we transcend the physical world and go into our dream world. Similarly, through listening, through contemplating and meditating, we are able to transcend this lower level of reality and come to comprehend the Supreme. So that's what Bhagavan says here, ki yaha, he who mam ajam anadincha vetti, one who comprehends me by listening to me, one who comprehends me as ajam, as unborn, and anadim as beginningless. Unborn, there is no cause for God. He is beginningless, he is always exist. See, many times little children also, they ask this question, if God created everything, then who created God? It's a quite logical question. Who created God? God created everything. When we say God created everything, He created the space, He created time also. Everything is expression of that Supreme. But God Himself is eternal, beyond the touch of time. He is not a product of time. Therefore, He is not an effect of some particular cause. Therefore, He is revealed here as Anadi. Anadi means beginningless, always there. Pure existence, always there. And Ajam, unborn. Not born in a particular time or particular space or in particular body. So this is Bhagwan's transcendental nature. But God alone appears like this world. And when He appears like this